Hello, friends, and thank you as always for visiting the Legend Sports Universe YouTube channel, Legend Sports Universe, where legends play forever. This is a continuation of the opening day slate of games for the Franchise Stars Baseball League project I have developed for MLB The Show 22. This matchup features the Philadelphia Phillies visiting the Houston Astros. Pitching matchup will be Cliff Lee for the Phillies, J.R. Richard, the big fella, going for the Astros. Again, we did a couple of broadcasts. We did one yesterday, the Mets and the Expos from Shea Stadium. Tom Seaver and Max Scherzer locking up there. That is available on the channel, as is the quote-unquote 4 p.m. game from opening day, as the Minnesota Twins battle the Chicago White Sox at Old Comiskey Park. Johan Santana and Chris Sale, the matchup there. This one coming to you from Houston. It's the national anthem plays here at Minute Maid Park. Most of the teams in this project are using their classic stadiums, with exceptions. Obviously, some teams, who are playing in their classic stadiums, the Cubs, the Dodgers, of course, just are in those parks. But the Mets are at Shea. The White Sox are at Old Comiskey, because I was able to find a decent version of Old Comiskey in the vault. But there's not really a good version of the Astrodome. And that's really because the guys at Sony screwed up in their stadium creator, which is a great tool. They don't give you any domed stadiums to work with. They don't give you any turf stadiums to work with. Somebody made an Olympic stadium that's passable. If you play it as a night game, it kind of seems like there's a dome, but I didn't really feel like the Astrodome was done quite as well. So I kept the Astros in Minute Maid Park for this season. As you see, J.R. Richard take the mound, 6'8". The big fella, one of the hardest sliders ever thrown. Control problems, but when Richard was on, he was about as tough to hit as there was in the game. He will face Richie Ashburn to lead things off here as we get underway. Both teams breaking out the classic unis here for the opener. First pitch strike there from Richard. Another slider, that one misses inside on Ashburn. 1-1 the count. That one misses outside off the corner. And command is the big thing for Richard. If he has command, he will be successful because his stuff is dynamite. Ashburn goes down and gets one that's low, slashes it the other way through the hole into left field. So a leadoff single for Richie Ashburn. If you have watched the prior broadcast, you know that this, because every player in the game is hand created, there are no player models from current players or the legends that come with MLB The Show, because we didn't want any historical stats involved. As this is going to be a franchise mode that's going to play out over the course of 20-25 seasons, I didn't want it being tainted by players' old stats. So everybody starts with no history. So anybody who gets their first hit here, they do the old ball collection first hit of their career thing. So these first couple of games, you'll probably see that in abundance. So here's Jimmy Rollins. Rollins batting in the 2-hole. Ashburn on first. Let's see. We'll go through those. You can read them if you want. As now we'll go through the scores from the earlier games as they scroll across the bottom later on. For now, we'll just kind of get this one underway, though. Ashburn having a conversation with his first base coach, see what happens here. 1-1 count here as Richard works to Rollins. Fastball misses up high. I deleted all of the managers and assigned fictional managers to each team. You can't create managers, so I couldn't create Casey Stengel or Connie Mack or anybody like that. Sparky Anderson, whatever. I couldn't create anybody, but I at least wanted to get the current managers out of there. I actually felt like doing the fictional managers was better than having, the current crop managing the teams. Especially because a lot of them are going to be players who will ultimately appear in this set. So full count here as Richard works to Rollins. Another hard slider down low. Rollins is able to fight it off. Richard looks enormous. Just imagine that coming at you. Kind of a sad, tragic story. Because, man, for a couple of years there, he was just absolutely fierce. Here's the delivery. Misses off the corner, ball 4. So Richard up against it early here. Leadoff single by Ashburn. Now he walks Rollins. Now to bring up sliding Billy Hamilton. Squares the bunt down to first. Bob Watson. I think it's Watson playing first today for the Astros. And it is. I think Glenn Davis is probably the DH. See the Phillies lineup there. Ashburn, Rollins, and Hamilton. Howard, Sherry McGee, and Scott Rowland. Juan Samuel, Darren Dalton, and Gary Maddox round out the Phillies lineup. Again, if you are new to the project, you hadn't followed kind of the lead up to it, as Howard steps in against Richard here. Each franchise has a 100-player pool. 8 guys at their top 8 in WAR at catcher in each of the infield positions, top 20 outfielders, top 25 starting pitchers, top 15 relievers. Then a random generator selected the opening day 40-man roster for year 1. The remaining 60 guys will appear in the franchise over the next years. Each year in the amateur draft, based on the guys that are selected, the fake draftees, basically that are picked in the first 3 or 4 rounds, each team will get 3 guys from their list. I may do 4, I may do 3 or 4 from that list, from that remaining list of 60 players in the spots that are drafted. So if a team picks a catcher, for example, in the first round, we will go through their list of available catchers, do the random generator, and they will get another catcher from that list. Wild pitch there. That slider gets away. Joe Ferguson able to get a glove on it, but it still gets away from him, and Ashburn and Rollins able to move up. So we will do that for 3 or 4 rounds, and then however many I decide to do, with the 4th or the 5th round, each team will get a Negro League player from history as well. You can edit the draftees as Howard goes down. First strikeout there for Richard. Much, much needed out. So, the Negro Leaguers, all the new draftees can be edited. So I have guys like in the system of how they would be created and stuff. So I will just need to edit the draftees to create those guys, and I will do that process each year. So that's how the guys, you can't import players into a franchise, which really stinks. But again, there's a workaround for it, and it's worth it to do this league the way I want to do it. It's not what your typical all-time league setup tends to be. So here's Sherry McGee. So Richard trying to get himself out of this jam. Second and third, 2-man down, 1-1 the count. Richard at 20 pitches here in the opening inning. Misses inside. Richard behind, 2-1. I feel like I have to darken J.R. Richard a little bit. Again, watching these games, I watched so many games in the run-up to this and creating the project and whatever, and obviously I was catching stuff left, right, and sideways, but there's still a few things that I'll still notice as these games play out, and I will continue to update. This roster set, again, it'll just be this original 40-man, so there'll be lots of guys who aren't included in it, but people have asked me for it, so I will upload it. As McGee pops it up out in front of the plate, Ferguson sheds the mask, puts it away. Richard gets into trouble, but gets out of it. Good gutty pitching there by J.R. Richard. The Phillies get a couple of base runners, but they leave them both on. We head to the bottom of the first in Houston. Phillies nothing, Astros coming up. Cliff Lee gets the start here for the Phillies. Probably that he rated a little bit ahead of Jim Bunning to start, based on how the ratings go. Bunning will ultimately end up being the ace of this team. His potential is a bit higher than Lee's. Generally speaking, the way the ratings worked is initial ratings are based on career averages, and then the peaks are based on the peak 3 seasons of WAR in a player's career. So you will have some of these situations where a guy who was really like a better historical player, but maybe had a slow start to his career or stayed on too long and dragged his career averages down a bit, will have a higher potential. So he'll start lower than another player, but will ultimately surpass him. You'll see something like Jim Cott, for example, for the Twins. Cott is starting out as a long reliever, but his potential will lift him past a couple of guys who are currently in that rotation down the line. So player development is part of this, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do it this way. So Cesar Cedeno, the vastly underrated Cesar Cedeno, if you look up his numbers, quite a solid player for the bulk of his career. Cedeno is on with an infield base hit. That'll bring up Adam Everett in the 2-hole. Everett, a very solid bunter. You might see that in play here. Cedeno, a threat to run. So Lee will have to be cautious with him. Here's the delivery. Sinker misses low and away. 1-1 the count. Throw over there, trying to keep Cedeno close. Lee very well aware of the threat that's on first. Sinker misses down low. Lee rubbing up the baseball. Pitch clock wouldn't be happy with that. I'm frankly a fan of the pitch clock. I think it eliminates a lot of the extraneous stuff that hitters do, in particular between pitches, and doesn't really take any of the action away from the game. So I think it's a good thing personally, but to each their own. Everett yanks that one foul. So 2-2 count. Lee's delivery. Cutter misses down low. Count is full. Jose Altuve swings in the on-deck circle. Lee delivers. Everett down the right field line, slicing away. Foul ball goes into the crowd. Count stays at 3-2. It's there from Lee. Everett pokes it to the right side through the hole. That's a base hit. Now shallow in right. Cedeno had to hold up, make sure he wasn't hit by that ball either. So Cedeno holds up at second. Everett with the already dirty helmet on opening day. Not going to worry about that. That's just kind of funny. Rubs pine tar on his helmet to start the season for good luck or something. Adam Everett, and a notoriously scrappy player. Rocking the pink batting gloves, too. I guess it's whoever. I did not create the Everett model. I did the player ratings for every player, so I didn't just like import players with other people's ratings. I have systems that I use to rate all the players. Altuve goes in the right, dunks it in for a base hit. Cedeno is going to come around. Throw home, not in time. Cedeno scores. It's an RBI single for Jose Altuve. And the Astros have taken a 1-0 lead against Cliff Lee here in the first, still with nobody out and runners at the corners. So my guess is that somebody saw Everett, worked off of a picture of Everett where he was wearing those batting gloves, probably, for a breast cancer thing or something like that. That would be my assumption anyway. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but if you check out the Facebook page or the Twitter account, which I'm trying to start using a little bit more, I want to start using my Instagram account more too. But I gave shout outs to guys who I knew I used a bunch of faces and models from saved me just an enormous amount of work. I was a little bit late to get going on this project. I had created a project back for a kind of a more standard franchise stars project. I had created back for MLB The Show, I guess it was 18 or 19, something like that. And I had written that out. I had played several seasons of that. And then my PS4 died. So I ended up having to rebuild the project completely. When I got the PS5, I got what was then the new game, MLB 22, and built it in that. But they don't do year-over-year saves anymore. So I won't be creating this project for 23 just because it's a lot of work and I don't feel like recreating everybody. So this is probably going to be the model I ride with for a while. Lee misses down low to Springer. 1-1 the count. First and third. Houston has a run in. They're going to look to make a big dent here on Cliff Lee's ledger. Here in the opening inning from Houston, again from Minute Maid Park. I just did not find a good Astrodome model to make it worthwhile to get them away from, the stadium creator is great, but obviously the real in-game stadiums that Sony have created are the best looking ones. And I just couldn't find an Astrodome model that made this worthwhile to change to it. So Springer goes down there, big strikeout for Lee. That'll bring up Alex Bregman. Astros got a really good draw for their opening 40. Bregman and Altuve, Glenn Davis and Bob Watson at first. Craig Reynolds, Adam Everett, at short, obviously defense first there. But Cedeno in the outfield. Hunter Pence and Terry Poole, I think, are like platooning out in right. Kevin Bass is in that mix. Springer, obviously. Ferguson behind the plate. Pitching has Oswalt. J.R. Richard, obviously, who's starting here. Mike Scott. Shane Reynolds. So, it's a good starting draw for the Astros to work from. Obviously, plenty more talent can come in down the line from Biggio and Bagwell, etc. 2-1 count here as Lee works to Bregman. Misses down low with the changeup. Bob Watson waits on deck. Sinker just off the outside corner. Lee is not happy. Lee wanted that pitch, and I don't blame him. That's a good pitch there from Cliff Lee. He does not get the call. Bases are loaded. Here comes Bob Watson. Watson lines the first pitch, foul, down the right field line, and out of play. I'll get that elbow guard off of Bob Watson. Watson lingered into the 80s. I'll let him keep the batting gloves, but we will get the elbow guard off of Watson. Sinker is in there. 22 pitches so far for Lee. He scuffled here in the first. Ground ball to short. It's going to be a big one. Rollins to second for one. Turned by Samuel. Double play. 6-4-3. Very much needed. There's the uniform glitch. God, I hate that. That annoys me so much. It's so silly, but it annoys me so much. That end of the inning, it shows the highlight of a guy who hit a home run or drove in the run or whatever, and it shows him with his team's logo, but then with the other team's uniform. But anyway, Altuve's RBI single gives the Astros a 1-0 lead. We go to the top of the second. Here's Scott rolling. Fastball misses up high. Yeah, the Richard model itself is fine. I just feel like he needs to be a bit darker than he is. Fastball there. Roland watches that one go in for strike one. Fastball. Gas is rolling. Comes in around hand height on him. There's just nothing Roland can do with that pitch. 1-2 slider. Catches a bit too much plate there. Richard gets away with one as Roland fouls it off. Count stays at 1-2. Slider and a terrific pitch from Richard. Rolling. Goes down swinging. Check the stat cast there. You got 3 huge fastballs, then a pair of sliders back to back. Hard to navigate that. Here's Juan Samuel. Samuel to the right side. Altuve can't get to it. It's a base hit out into right field. So Juan Samuel is on with a 1-out single here in the second for the Phillies. So Ryan Howard retrieves the baseball. Lots of souvenirs in these first broadcasts. Fastball low and away, and Samuel just takes what he's given. Certainly speed on the bases here for the Phillies. You know, in this lineup, Samuel and sliding Billy Hamilton. Certainly some threats. Here's Darren Dalton. Dutch takes the first pitch up high for ball 1. Throw over. Samuel gets back in time. Richard from the set position delivers. Slider misses inside. 2-0. We check out the fake umps. I wonder if they're representative of like real life umps and they just couldn't use their names, or if they just are completely made up guys. Pitch there. Ferguson, stolen base attempt for Samuel. He's in easily. So Juan Samuel picks up his first stolen base of the season. Terrific jump there. No shot for Ferguson to get him. So Richard behind 3-0. Here to Dalton. 1 away. Fastball in there for a strike. Dalton the other way. That's a fair ball down the left field line. That's going into the corner. Samuel's going to come around to score. Dalton goes into second with an RBI double. The Phillies tie the game at 1. Dutch Dalton goes down the third base line. Opposite field hit there. Bregman well off the line, playing Dalton to pull. No shot at that one. So the Phillies tie it up here in the top of the second. That's just a good piece of hitting by Dalton. Pitch was low and away. Not a bad pitch from Richard. Sometimes you just got to tip your hat to the batter. Here's Gary Maddox. Slider misses down low. One know the count. Dalton on second. Richard delivers. Hits him with the fastball. Maddox checks his swing, but it was in there for a strike anyway. 1-1 the count. Fastball. Maddox turns it way out in front. Guessing fastball gets it right. He got out in front of a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. This kind of gives you an indication of the guesswork when you're facing somebody like Richard. Slider misses low and away, 2-2. We'll go through the out-of-town scores next time they scroll across the bottom there. Maddox, deep drive to left. Back towards the Crawford boxes. That ball is out of here. Home run, Gary Maddox. First, obviously, on opening day. But J.R. Richards taken deep by Gary Maddox, and the Phillies strike. They have now taken a 3-1 lead. So Gary Maddox turns this one around. And he got all of it. Nothing to do but look up at that one. So Maddox homers. Richard will try to regroup. And Gary Maddox, good for double-digit homers per season in his career. If I remember right, J.R. Richard actually gave up the long ball a bit. So here's Richie Ashburn as the order rolls over. Ashburn singled his first time up. Line the other way. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Actually, double checking, Richard was not particularly susceptible to the home run at all in his career. Of course, playing in the Astrodome certainly helps that, but even so, his biggest issue was walks. Led the league in walks 3 times. Led the league in wild pitches 3 times. But Maddox victimizes him here. So with Ashburn on with his second hit of the game, here comes Rollins. Rollins walked his first time up. Slider in there for a strike. Richard ahead 0-2. Misses up high with that slider. Pitch here from Richard. Fly ball out into center field. That looks like it's going to get down, and it does. So Richard continues to struggle here in the second. Phillies now have second and third. Ashburn had to hold up to see if that ball would be caught. Intelligent, cautious base running there by the Phillies. We did not see that from the Expos in the 9th inning of their game against the Mets. 2 poor base running decisions by the Expos cost them an opportunity to come back against Tom Seaver, who went the distance in a complete game 5-hit shutout. Spike Owen tried to take an extra base after an error by Jeff McNeil in that one and was gunned down. And then soon after that, Bryce Harper in a 2-0 game tries to score from second on a single when his run didn't mean anything and was gunned down by Bernard Gilkey to end it. So the Phillies running the bases better than the Expos. Here's Billy Hamilton. J.R. Richard already at 46 pitches here in the second. Fly ball out to center field. That one coming on Cedeno. Has to play it on the hop. Throw gets away. Overthrows the cutoff man. Both runners score. Terrific base running there from Rollins. So they had to hold up to see if that was going to get played. Rollins, though, once he broke, never held up. Billy Hamilton has a 2-run single. That one falls in. The Phillies have now busted open a 5-1 lead. 5 runs here in the second off J.R. Richard. We'll see how long Richard is for this world. So Hamilton dunks it out there against Cedeno, a fine center fielder, but playing Hamilton to pull. Just unable to get to that one. So here's Ryan Howard. 1 out, runner on second. Howard fouls it off. Howard struck out his first time up. Fastball misses inside. This will be the 50th pitch of the game for Richard. Other than the Maddox homer, he really hasn't been hit hard. But he's fallen behind some guys. He's let up a few dinkers and dunkers. And it has added up to a 5-1 Phillies lead here in the second. Fastball down low. Howard fouls it off. Delivery away. Howard goes the other way. Fouls it off into the stands, though. So Richard hoping that he can stem the tide here. Slider misses down and in. Sherry McGee waits on deck. And the fastball gasses Howard. Third strikeout for Richard as Howard goes down swinging.
Number 35.
So 2 men down, runner on second. Here's Sherry McGee. McGee 0 for 1. Takes the first pitch off the plate. McGee popped out in the first inning. McGee, a early 20th century. Stars, he takes the slider in there high for a strike, though. 1-1 the count, 2 outs. Runner on second. Fastball. See that Richard seems to be going a bit more to the heater than the slider these past couple of batters. Fastball rides inside and he hits McGee. And that is the last thing that Richard wanted to do. Ahead of the batters. Now here comes Scott Rowland with 2 men on. Fastball taken down the middle for a strike. Rowland struck out his first time up. Richard had him looking absolutely silly on a slider. Fastball misses up high. 1-1 the count. Richard looks in. Breaking ball rolling down to third. Bregman has it over to first. And the side is retired. But the Phillies pick up 5. A Gary Maddox home run with nickels and dimes assorted throughout. Head to the bottom of the second. Phillies have a 5-1 lead on the Astros. So Cliff Lee, who labored a bit through the first, now has a lead to work with. Here's Hunter Pence. Pence ground ball in the hole. Nice play. Jimmy Rollins leaping throw gets him. Terrific play, Jimmy Rollins. Pence puts one in the hole. Rollins on the backhand, jumping, throwing across the diamond. Gets him easily. Well done there, Jimmy Rollins. Terrific job there by J-Roll for the first out here in the bottom of the second. Here's Glenn Davis, the designated hitter. Davis fouls this one off. See the preseason prognostications. He's Yankees, White Sox. Red Sox picked as playoff teams in the American League. Here in the National League, Phillies, Cardinals, and Giants predicted to be the division winners. Pirates and Dodgers as the wild card teams. Davis is retired. Here's Joe Ferguson. Richard has to be hoping for a longer at bat here. Something to give him a bit of a breather after a very long top of the second. Ferguson yanks the first pitch foul. Astros got to look at some pitches here. Red Sox with a 10-0 victory over the Rays. Pedro Martinez goes the distance, a 5-hit complete game shutout, striking out 12. In the 8th, the Indians hold a 3-0 lead over the Royals. Napoleon Lajoie with a 2-run homer in that one for Cleveland. The Yankees in a slugfest in Texas. Guidry and Gaylord Perry neither had their best stuff. Yankees hold on for the victory, though 11-8, pair of home runs for Tommy Henrich. Twins leading the White Sox 6-3 in the 8th of that one. Tom Bernansky has a home run in that game. Ferguson singles in the center. Diamondbacks over the Brewers. Randy Johnson the winner there. Corbin Burns takes the loss. Byung-Hyun Kim with the save. Johnson throws 8 innings of 2-hit ball, allowing a single run, striking out 5. Bob Gibson and the Cardinals defeat the Pirates 6-1. Babe Adams takes the loss for the Pirates. Brian Jordan 3 for 4 with a pair of RBIs for the Cardinals. As seen here on the channel earlier, Tom Seaver a complete game 5-hit shutout, striking out 10s. The Mets defeated the Expos at Shea Stadium 2-0. In the 8th, Braves hold a 4-3 lead on the Marlins. Wally Berger a pair of RBIs and 2 hits for Atlanta in that one. At Wrigley, the Cubs, behind Ferguson Jenkins, hold a 6-2 lead over the Reds. Reds did get a home run from Cy Seymour in that one. Bill Lang has a home run for the Cubs. Dodgers all over the Rockies, 8-0. Zach Wheat, 2 for 4, a homer, 4 RBIs in that one. Giants over the Padres, 5-0 in the 8th. Freddie Lindstrom, 2 for 4 with an RBI for the Giants. Tim Keefe on the hill for them. Andy Bennis started that game for San Diego. Lee misses outside with the sinker here. 2 outs in the bottom of the second. As crisp and brisk as that Mets Expos game one, that is how slow the early going of this game has been. I believe we are only in the bottom of the second here. Lee deals to Cedeno. Popped up, shallow right field. Coming on. It's going to fall in for a base hit.
The batter, the shortstop, Adam Everett.
So Hamilton can't get to it. You've got a speedy outfield, to say the least, there for the Phillies. Maddox, Ashburn, and Billy Hamilton will cover a lot of ground, but that one dunks in ahead of him. Here's Adam Everett with 2 outs, first and second. The Astros hope for a hit that'll let them start to chip away at this 4-run deficit. Sinker misses outside. 1-1 the count. Ground ball down to third base line. Rowland picks it behind the bag. Long throw gets him. Nicely done by Scott Rowland. One of the best in the game defensively. Makes the play there. We head to the top of the third. Phillies still holding a 5-1 lead. So 12 hits through the first 2 innings. That will explain why the first 2 innings took so long. J.R. Richard is being allowed to come out here and start the third after a very rough second inning. Fly ball here, out into the gap in left center. Cedeno gets a good read on it, though. Puts it away. Samuel was retired. 1 pitch, 1 out. So here's Darren Dalton. Dalton an RBI double, his first time up. He would later score. Takes the fastball there, just off the plate. Richard wanted that call. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Fastball just off the corner there. Not sure if they said that was low or inside or both. Close pitch. Richard not getting the benefit of it. A little bit of a slower fastball there. The two-seamer gets Dalton. 2-2 the count. Fastball popped up foul into the stands. Count will hold at 2-2. Fastball misses down low. Count is full. There's Gary Maddox on deck. Maddox homered his first time up. Kind of ignited everything in that 5-run second. Fly ball out to left. Coming on. Springer puts it away for the second out. Springer, Cedeno, and Pence. The outfield for the Astros in this one. Here's Gary Maddox, like we mentioned, the 2-run homer in the second. First pitch swinging, fly ball out to center, Cedeno under it. 1-2-3 inning for Richard, so a good bounce back inning for James Rodney Richard, who tries to keep the Phillies at bay. Bottom of the third, Altuve, Springer, and Bregman coming up for the Astros. Here's Altuve. Dropped an RBI single into right field his first time up to bring home the lone run for the Astros. Fastball at the knee is called strike. Altuve grounds this one to the right-hand side. Samuel fields it. Throw over to first. Gets him for the first out.
The batter, number 6.
So here's George Springer. Springer struck out his first time up. You see Tim Keefe, complete game there. I like that there are some complete games happening. That was a focus of mine as I did the ratings and tried to adjust the ratings and the sliders accordingly. And we'll see a little bit more of an old style baseball kind of setup here. The way this league should play out, you should see ERA leaders in the low to mid 2s, your home run leaders in the low to mid 40s probably. There are certainly outlier seasons. They've had, Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Willie Mays hit into the mid 50s during sim testing and stuff like that. So those kind of seasons are available. I think Gehrig broke 60 one year. But you'll see complete games and shutouts and things like that, particularly from the older time pitchers. We didn't juice it up so that modern pitchers who don't really throw complete games are going to have an abundance of them. But the older guys who did throw them will be able to achieve that on occasion. This is kind of going to play out a little bit more like, I would say, late 70s, early 80s kind of baseball. Stolen base leaders in the 40s, maybe low 50s. Ground ball, base hit up the middle there. So 1-out single on the 3-2 pitch. Astros have a base runner here in the bottom of the third. Springer singles back up the middle. So Springer with the 1-out single. Lee tries to manicure around the mound. He knows that that pitch was not where he wanted it. Particularly didn't want it right back at his head. So here's Alex Bregman. Lee throw over to first. Springer gets back. I caught leaning a little bit, but easily able to get back in ahead of the throw from Lee. Change up in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Bregman walked his first time up. Pitch, ground ball to short. Rollins with the play to second for one. Samuel on the turn and another double play. The Astros have hit into 2 of them in the first 3 innings. 6-4-3 for the second time. We are a third of the way through here in Houston. Phillies hold a 5-1 lead over the Astros. So after cruising through the third, J.R. Richard will stay in here. Phillies roll the order over. Richie Ashburn, who's 2 for 2 on the day, leads things off. Ashburn, first pitch swing, lines one out in the right center, out of the reach of Altuve. Shorty jumped for it, couldn't quite get there, falls in for a base hit. Ashburn has his 3rd hit of the day.
Now batting, the shortstop.
So here's Jimmy Rollins. Rollins 1 for 1 with a walk. Table setters have done their job. Slider misses low and away, 1-0 the count. Richard delivers, fastball in there for a strike, 1-1. Richard delivers. In there for a strike. That's a shot out in the center. But Cedeno camps out underneath it. Puts it away. For the out.
Now batting, the center fielder, Billy Hamilton.
So here's Billy Hamilton, 1 out, here in the top of the 4th. Hamilton, a 2-run single earlier on. Fastball in there for a strike. One out, man on first. Check out that out-of-town scoreboard. The Twins, White Sox now a final. Twins with the 6-3 win there. Runner goes, and he's gunned down. Great throw from Joe Ferguson. Ashburn did not get a good jump there. Didn't have a huge lead. Ferguson got a good pitch there to handle. I almost think that was a pitch out, actually. They guessed right, and Ashburn is gunned down for the 2nd out of the inning. Popped up, fielded by Altuve, and the size retires. So Richard has settled down after that brutal 2nd. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Phillies 5, Astros 1. So we'll head to the bottom of the 4th here. Bob Watson grounded out his first time up. He will lead off against Cliff Lee.
The first baseman, Bob Watson.
Lee at 50 pitches through 3. Watson first pitch swing. Hits this one deep to left. That's way back. Off the wall. An absolute bullet. Watson's going to have to hold at first with a single. Off the wall and left.
Number 9, Hunter Banks.
Bob Watson, a good professional hitter throughout his career. You kind of break the 4th wall. We'll actually acknowledge players' real life. Even though we wiped out all of their stats for the purposes of this league, we will acknowledge that there is an actual history there. So Watson read that one well. Got a good move on that ball. Leadoff single. Here's Hunter Pence. Pence 0 for 1. First pitch swinging again, getting aggressive against Lee. Pence fly ball out to center. Ashburn is over. Puts it away.
Now batting, the designated hitter, Glenn.
I gotta see, I don't think that was Ashburn. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think that was Billy Hamilton. Ashburn might be designated hitter for the Phillies. I don't remember that from the opening lineup. Glenn Davis steps in, takes the first pitch, strike. Davis 0 for 1. 1 out, man on first here in the bottom of the 4th. Phillies on the strength of a 5-run second inning, lead at 5-1. Davis in the hole. Rollins gets over, goes to second for 1, on to first. The 3rd double play that the Astros have hit into in the first 4 innings. Makes it hard to come back when you keep taking yourself off the bases. We are through 4 here in Houston. Phillies hold on to the 5-1 lead. John Shelby and Chris Singleton, you have been replaced.
Ryan Howard.
Realizing that their faces are going to pop up every broadcast that I do, which is fine. So here's Ryan Howard stepping in to start the 5th. Richard has settled down after that terrible second. Howard turns this one around to right. Going back, Pence has room just shy of the track, puts it away. 1 man down. So Howard made a bid.
Now batting. Number 35.
That one didn't have the legs. Howard will put plenty over the fence during the course of this season, make no mistake about it. Here's Sherry McGee. McGee 0 for 1, was hit by a pitch his last time up. Fastball at the knees, in there for strike 1. Richard with the slider. Fastball misses up high. Richard with the fastball on the inside corner. 2-2 the count. Down low, ground ball up the middle. Fielded, nice job by Everett. Throw over to first, gets a nice play.
Up next to Philadelphia, the third baseman, Scott Rollins.
So 2 men down. Here's Scott Rowland. Rowland 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out. Pitch there, misses outside. Slider doesn't snap off. 2-0 as it misses inside. Fastball misses up high, so Richard losing his way here against Rowland, behind him 3-0. Pitch from Richard, misses inside, ball 4. So Richard walks Rowland on 4 straight. 2-out base runner here for the Phillies in the top of the 5th. And that's going to be the end for J.R. Richard. So Richard's day is done here in the 5th. Disappointing for him. He did recover nicely, though, after that second inning. But that inning did get away from him. So here's Ken Johnson coming in relief now. Johnson talks to Ferguson briefly. He will start things off facing Juan Samuel. Samuel 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Also has a stolen base on the day. 2 men down, rolling at first. First pitch fastball in there for a strike. This delivery from Johnson misses down low. One and one the count. Johnson, fastball. Misses down and in, 2-1. Fastball misses up and away. So Johnson behind 3-1. Darren Daulton waits on deck. Johnson gets the sign from Ferguson, who sets up inside. Fastball lined out to left. Going back towards the wall, off the wall, played nicely. Gotten in quick. Runner will hold at third. So played nicely off the wall by Springer. Samuelo has a double for his second hit of the game. It's second and third with 2 outs as the Phillies threaten again. Phillies piling on the hits. Here's Darren Daulton. Daulton 1 for 2. Johnson misses up and in for ball 1. Daulton, as we mentioned, an RBI double also scored as part of that 5-run second. That one ground ball to second. Altuve has it. Throws over to Watson. Daulton is retired, and the inning is over. So we are midway through here in Houston. Phillies continue to hold a 5-1 lead. So Ferguson, 1 for 1. He will lead things off here in the bottom of the 5th. The Astros have amassed 7 hits over the first 4 innings, but they have grounded into 3 double plays, making it very hard to climb out of the 4-run hole. First pitch from Lee. Ferguson fouls it off. Here's the delivery. Fastball misses outside. 1-1 the count. See that prospect list? Yankees 21 of the top 100. Even again, the Yankees did not get an exceptional draw given, the talent, obvious talent in the Yankees player pool. But even without a terrific draw, they're still really solid. Them and the Red Sox should be a good battle there in the AL East. I still think the A's probably have the best roster, if not in the whole game, certainly in the American League. But that's why we play the games. We will have an A's broadcast later on here. The A's will be the 4th and final opening day broadcast. They will be the quote-unquote 10 p.m. slot for opening day as they host the Angels. Ground ball. Fielded by Samuel. Over to Howard. 1 man down.
The center fielder, number 28, Cesar Cedeno.
So in comes Cesar Cedeno. Cedeno 2 for 2, pair of singles and a run scored. Here's the offering from Lee. Hot smash down to Howard, makes the catch before it hits the ground. So a line out to Howard. Cedeno hit that one well. And that's the second out. Here's Adam Everett. Everett 1 for 2, singled back in the first inning. Cutter. Called a strike at the knees. Oh boy, that cutter makes Everett look silly. Just twists himself into the ground. Lee ahead 0-2. Here's the pitch and ties him up again with a cutter. Weak pop-up. Roland puts it away. A horrific at-bat there for Adam Everett. Cliff Lee puts a 1-2-3 inning together. Haven't seen many of those in this one. We head to the top of the 6th. Phillies still lead it 5-1. So here's Gary Maddox Maddox 1 for 2, had the 2-run homer back in the second off J.R. Richard, who's been chased out of this game. That's a final. Now Atlanta over the Marlins 4-3. Maddox gets the win there. Maddox thinks about dropping the bunt, misses the attempt. 1-1 the count. Pulls this one foul. Offering from Johnson. Ground ball, weakly hit down to third. Bregman throw over to first. Gets him for the out. So Maddox is retired to start off the top of the sixth. Here's Richie Ashburn. Ashburn 3 for 3. 3 singles. He has also scored a run. First pitch swinging. Hits another one hard. This one right at Altuve, though, who picks it cleanly for the second out. Ashburn seeing the ball very well today. 2 men down. Here's Jimmy Rollins. Rollins 1 for 2 with a walk. Also doubled and scored. Also has a stolen base. Fastball in there for a called strike. Johnson gets ahead of Rollins 0-1. That's shot out in the right. Going back. Pence, shy of the track, has room, puts it away, and the side is retired. So Johnson has a 1-2-3 inning here. Houston will come up in the bottom of the sixth. Altuve, Springer, and Bregman, the heart of the order. Phillies holding on to the 5-1 lead.
Leading up for the Astros, the second baseman, number 27.
Lee delivers, misses outside with the cutter. That one catches the corner, so 1-1 the count. Two and one here for Altuve. He's 1 for 2. Lee scuffled early. He's been helped again by 3 double plays. Sinker there, misses 3-1. One fouled off. Full count pitch, Altuve, ground ball to short. Rollins throws to first, gets him for the out, 1 away.
The batter, number 6.
So here's George Springer. Springer 1 for 2, singled back in the third. Changeup misses down low. 1-0 the count. Pitch from Lee. Cutter in there for a strike. 1-1. That one lined into center. That's going to be a base hit. So a 1-out single. Springer picks up his second hit of the game. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman 0 for 1, walked back in the first. Orbit tries to get the crowd going with his dugout stomp. First pitch here from Lee. Cutter misses inside. 1-0 the count. Lee's first pitch, and Alex Bregman deep to left field, and the Astros are going to get themselves a bit closer after that. Alex Bregman unloads 2-run home run deep into left. 2-run shot there off of Lee. Astros desperately needed that, and they've trimmed the deficit now to 5-3. Check out the replay here, and Bregman just gets all of this. You can see the reaction from Dalton. Dalton knew this one was done as soon as it left the bat. Up by the tracks. So Bregman brings the Astros within 2. Scrap iron, Phil Garner. There in the dugout. So here's Bob Watson as Lee tries to shake that one off. First pitch sinker in there for a strike. Here's the pitch. Ground ball down to third. Roland has it. Throw over to first. Gets him for out number 2.
Now batting, the right fielder, Hunter.
So I've got to get that elbow guard off of Bob Watson. So here's Hunter Pence. Pence 0 for 2. Lee delivers. Pence first pitch swinging, fouls it off to the right-hand side. Here's the delivery. Up high, Pence fouls it off. So Lee ahead of Pence 0-2 here in the bottom of the 6th. Sinker misses down low. Pence doesn't offer at that one. Bit of a waste pitch there from Lee, 1-2. Fly ball to right, slicing away. Chasing after it. I think that's McGee out there in right. Oh my goodness, this uniform thing. God, I just don't know. I don't know how a company like Sony. So look at the replay of Bregman's homer as we head to the 7th. I just don't know how a company like Sony, with all the stuff that they get right with this game. I mean, MLB The Show is a great game. With all the things they get right, how nobody saw that and said, oh wow. When you show a replay at the end of the inning, it puts the guy in the other team's uniform. I don't know how that doesn't get seen and how it doesn't get fixed. But it is what it is. We know who Alex Bregman plays for. So Ken Johnson deals here to Billy Hamilton. Hamilton tries to bunt. Puts it foul. Count now 0-2. Knuckleball there. Floated out into left. Diving play, and Springer comes up with it. Great grab, George Springer. But Springer flexing his arm, and George Springer is going to be taken out of this game.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention.
So in comes Kevin Bass for George Springer. Looks like an arm injury for Springer. We'll, of course, try to get an update on that one later on.
Kevin Bass.
In the meantime, we continue with the game here. Here's Ryan Howard. Howard hitless on the day. First pitch there, misses for a ball. See that out-of-town scoreboard. The Yankees did finish off the Rangers 11-8. Howard, the single there into center. His first hit.
Now batting, number 35.
One out single here in the top of the 7th. Rollins collects the ball. So many souvenirs in these opening few games. Good piece of hitting there by Howard. Goes down and gets that one. pitch actually below the knees. So 1 out, man on first. Here's Sherry McGee. McGee 0 for 2. McGee turns this one but foul. Maddox there, you see 6 1/3, 7 hits, 3 runs, 8 strikeouts. Sherry McGee, deep to left. See you later. 2-run shot, Sherry McGee, off Ken Johnson. And the Phillies answer the Bregman home run with one of their own. McGee goes deep. And the Phillies have opened up a 7-3 lead here over Houston. McGee crushes this one. Up to the tracks. No love. Oh, first homer. There you see Carlos Ruiz. All right, they decide they like Sherry McGee again. So McGee goes deep with the 2-run bomb off of Johnson, who's done a fine job here in relief of J.R. Richard till that moment. Here's Roland. Roland 0 for 2. Johnson drops that knuckleball. Up high, Roland fouls it off. Roland 0 for 2 with a walk. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses inside. 1-1 the count. That one swung on and missed. So Johnson ahead of Roland 1-2. Slider down low, misses 2-2 the count. Johnson delivers. Knuckleball floats in. Roland watches it as it misses inside. Full count. Juan Samuel, having a fine day for himself, swings the bat in the on-deck circle. Roland swings and misses at the slider. Struck him out. So Johnson fans Roland. Here's Samuel. 2 for 3, a single, a double, a run scored, stolen base. Been part of turning 3 double plays as well. Swings there, pops this one up in foul ground. Watson over. He'll have room. Puts it away and the side is retired. But Sherry McGee. Oh, that logo is right. There you go. They kept him with the Phillies. I wonder if that glitch only happens for the home team. I've never really observed whether that's how it goes, whether it's just for the home team or not. But regardless, McGee's 2-run home run answers Bregman's 2-run home run from the bottom of the 6th. 7th inning stretch time here in Houston. Phillies hold a 7-3 lead.
Leading up for the Astros,
Here's Glenn Davis. Davis 0 for 2. He has grounded out twice.
Davis.
Lee at 82 pitches. Cutter misses inside. Davis yanks this one in the left. That's going to be a hit. Again, that short wall out and left. That ball was absolutely scalded by Davis, but he's only going to get a single out of it. Here's Joe Ferguson. So Davis with the base hit there. Here comes Ferguson, 1 for 2. Astros will try to get something going here. Change up, fouled off. Ferguson singled back in the second. That one pulled, dive, rolling, can't come up with it. Davis not fleet of foot. Holds at second. But the Astros have 2 men on here to start the bottom of the 7th. They try to get something going here. That's going to be it for Cliff Lee. So Lee fought his way through this one. He won't be happy with 3 runs over 6. But he certainly scuffled. He made big pitches when he had to. And he leaves standing as the winner in a 7-3 game. Here comes Jack Taylor. Taylor goes over things with Dalton and will now try to preserve the lead. Here's Cesar Cedeno. Cedeno 2 for 3. Fouls off the first offering. He's behind 0-1. Delivery here from Taylor. Cedeno, fly ball, out to right center. Hamilton puts it away. Good, strong throw, Billy Hamilton. There was no danger of Davis tagging anyway.
Up next to the Astros. The shortstop, Adam Everett.
So here's Adam Everett. Everett 1 for 3, singled back in the first inning. Curveball misses down low. Dutch Ulrich and Hector Neris throwing in the Phillies bullpen. Fastball misses up high. First and second, 1 out. Again, the Astros have hit into 3 double plays in this game. Down to third, rolling. To second for 1. On to first, make it 4. Roland, great presence of mind there. Makes that play behind the bag, but his momentum was carrying him. If he had stopped and just tried to step on third, he probably isn't able to turn 2. So he gets rid of the ball quickly, turns the 5-4-3, the 4th double play, hit into by the Astros. We head to the 8th. Phillies lead at 7-3. So here's Dalton. Dalton 1 for 3. Had an RBI double earlier on in that 5-run second. J.R. Richard not at his best today. So really he just had the 1 bad inning. The second got away from him. Other than that, Richard was solid, but his pitch count ran up. And once he walked a batter in the 5th, they decided to get him out of there. Dalton puts a charge into this one to center, but it'll stay in the yard. Cedeno tracks it down.
The left fielder, number 25, Gary Maddox.
So 1 man down, here's Maddox. Back in the second, Maddox did this to J.R. Richard. Deep drive to left. So Maddox puts it out. Maddox 1 for 3. Johnson delivers. Maddox squares. Charge. Bregman can't come up with it, and Maddox is going to be on. Sure, that will be an infield single. That bare hand play is pretty if you can make it, but Bregman not able to come up with that one. So here's Richie Ashburn. Ashburn has 3 hits on the day. He is 3 for 4. 41,000, believe that is capacity here in Houston. Runner goes, that one's fouled off. Hit and run in play. We'll see if they do it again. They do not. Ashburn takes that fastball. Johnson ahead of him 0-2. Ashburn fouls that one off. Knuckleball, oh my goodness. Ashburn does not agree with that. He goes down looking, though. You know, Johnson, not a true knuckleballer. He just kind of dumps it in there occasionally. That one lands perfectly, at least in the eyes of the ump. According to the pitch tracker, it did catch the corner. So good pitch there from Johnson, 2 away. Here's Jimmy Rollins. Rollins 1 for 3, double and a run scored. Throw over just to keep him honest. That one. A little more intent behind it. Maddox able to get back in. 2 down, man on first, 0-1 count. Phillies lead at 7-3 here in the top of the 8th. Johnson misses down low, 1-1 the count. Another knuckleball, runner goes there, not going to have any chance at him there. So Maddox picks up the steal. You get that knuckleball, if you're a catcher, you're just hung out to dry. Nothing Ferguson can do there. So 1-2 count. Phillies get the runner into scoring position. Fastball misses up high. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Popped up on the infield. Altuve calls it. He's under it, puts it away, and the side is retired. So the Phillies do not score. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Philadelphia still holds a 7-3 lead. Astros will send up Altuve, Bass, and Bregman. Again, Bass in George Springer left this game with an injury back in the 7th, making a diving catch out in left field, but appeared to do something to his arm. Was taken out of the game for precautionary reasons. Kevin Bass came in his place. Altuve puts this one deep to right, but it's tracked down by McGee for the first out. So here's Bass. His first plate appearance of the game. Delivery from Taylor. Oregon Huck Betts in the pen. Neris, the closer, had thrown earlier on. But with the lead at 4, they may opt not to use him. 2-seamer in there for a strike. 1-1 count. The pitch, Bass. Squares, a little curious there. Bass, not overly fast, but tries to play a little trickery there and catch Roland napping, but bunts it foul. That curveball from Taylor misses down low, 2-2 the count. Pitch from Taylor. That one fouled down the third baseline. So the count stays 2-2. Check the out-of-town scoreboard along the bottom. Sam McDowell out-dueling Zach Greinke there. Indians beat the Royals 3-0. McDowell will complete game 5-hitter, striking out 10. Bouncer 1, hop back to the mound. Taylor fields it cleanly, throws over to Howard for the second out. It's such a visually beautiful game. They really just do an exceptional job, which is what makes the stuff that they get wrong so annoying. You know, like that logo glitch and stuff like that. Just silly stuff. So here's Alex Bregman. Bregman 1 for 2, hit the 2-run homer. His last time up. Pitch from Taylor. That one called off the corner, 2-0. There's the pitch. Hit hard, but right at Rollins. One hopper. Rollins stays with it, throws him out. So we are through 8 here in Houston. Time getting short for the Astros. They trail 7-3. Hamilton, Howard, and McGee will bat in the 9th for the Phillies.
Leading off for Philadelphia.
So here's Billy Hamilton. Hamilton 1 for 3, 2-run single in that 5-run second inning. That one lined into right. Falls in for a base hit. So Hamilton with his second hit of the game. And you see the shot. Pence had to play it on the hop. Didn't want to go diving for it and having it get past him. Not with Hamilton's speed. So Pence rightly plays that ball conservatively. Here's Ryan Howard. Howard 1 for 4. First pitch falls in there for a strike. Howard single and a run scored. Johnson delivers. Pitch out, nothing going. Phillies have a couple of steals on the day. Maddox has one, Rollins has one as well. Hamilton's certainly a threat. Johnson knows it, trying to keep him close. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there for a strike. So Johnson ahead of Howard 1-2 here. Howard, fly ball, center field. Cedeno ranging over. He'll get there. It's carrying well, but it will stay in the park. Cedeno gets it shy of the track, puts it away for out number 1. Hamilton strolls back to first. I would not be surprised to see Hamilton try a steal here, though. Here's Sherry McGee. McGee hit the 2-run homer in the 7th and answered Bregman's 2-run shot in the bottom of the 6th. That for a moment gave the Astros hope here. They were down 5-1 at the time. Bregman's shot narrowed it to 5-3. McGee's homer extended it back to 7-3, which is where we stand now. Fastball misses outside. 1-0 the count. As the pitch, runner goes. Throw from Ferguson, not even close. Billy Hamilton, terrific jump there. His first stolen base of the season. Expect him to have many more as the year goes on. Sliding Billy, a terrific base stealing threat. So 2-1 count. Johnson works to McGee. Ground ball, back to the box. That hits off Johnson, goes into foul territory. And Ferguson picked it up. The runner came around third. Hamilton thought that ball had gotten away. So that shot comes back up the middle, hits off Ken Johnson. That deserved a replay. Ferguson pounces on it. Hamilton thought he could slip past him. And Ferguson tags him out just for the second out. Heads up play there by Joe Ferguson because nobody was at the plate. So I understand what Hamilton was thinking there. That one is fouled off. Johnson none the worse for wear. Rowan fouls it off. Rowan 0 for 3 on the day. on the whole, Johnson has put in a pretty yeoman's effort here in relief of J.R. Richard. And Rowland goes down looking. Johnson drops that one in. So the Astros will have their last opportunity. Watson, Pence, and Davis scheduled up here in the bottom of the ninth. Astros trying to come back. Phillies hold a 7-3 lead. So Jack Taylor is going to start the ninth here for the Phillies, again with the 4-run lead. Hector Neris was throwing before, as was Huck Betts. They had somebody else up too, and now I'm forgetting who it was. But no need for Neris here, and in the 4-run game, they're just going to stick with Taylor, unless given a reason not to. Watson ground ball out to Rollins. Rollins throw over to first, one man down. Again, the Astros, plenty of base runners, but they have hit into 4 double plays in this game. Here's Hunter Pence. Pence 0 for 3. Flew out his last time up. Fastball misses inside. Another one saws him off. That ball lands foul. Pence will have to get a new piece of lumber. Barrel rolls out towards Ryan Howard there. Pence has his bat. 1-1. Curveball misses down low. 2-1 the count. Shot by Pence. Fights it off the other way. That's going to get in for a base hit. So 1-out single for Hunter Pence as Houston tries to claw their way back in. There's no clawing, though, at this point. Bottom of the ninth. But you can't hit the 4-run homer with nobody on base. So to that extent, they are trying to claw their way back in. You see that Yankees-Rangers game. That game, a slugfest. Only slugfest so far on opening day, actually. Everything's kind of been, at least one team has had a great pitching performance. But the Yankees win that battle in Texas 11-8. Delivery from Taylor. Ground ball down to first. Howard throws to second. Tries to turn the double play. Runner gets in there. Terrific play, Ryan Howard. Howard was able to get the bag as he fielded that ball. Throws to second to try to get Pence for the tag play, but Pence is able to get in. Nifty play by Ryan Howard, who is not known for his defense. He didn't have to range too far there, but still, that's a nice little footwork play that I'm not sure Ryan Howard actually makes. There's no footwork defensive rating, though, so we will blame the game for that. Ferguson ground ball to Rollins, over to Howard, side retired, ball game over, and the Phillies pick up the opening day victory on the road with the 7-3 win. Cliff Lee the winner. J.R. Richard will take the loss. Jack Taylor, by virtue of the long relief appearance, picks up the save. Again, Phillies had the 5-run second inning. There you see the Gary Maddox home run. Alex Bregman went deep in the 6th to cut it to a 5-3 deficit. Here's a play. We'll try to get an update on George Springer and post that on the Facebook page or something. Springer left the game after making that catch with an injury. Sherry McGee with the final runs of the game on that 2-run homer. So 7 runs, 14 hits, no errors for the Phillies. 3 runs, 12 hits, no errors for the Astros. That will wrap things up here from Houston. So later on the channel will be the final game of the opening day slate of broadcasts. Again, we're doing multiple broadcasts for opening day, kind of one in each time slot. So the Mets Expos were the 1 o'clock game, and then the Twins White Sox were the 4 o'clock game, and this kind of counts as like the 7 o'clock game. And then the 10 o'clock game, Angels and A's, will be on the channel later on. Thank you guys, as always, for checking out the Legend Sports Universe. Subscribe if you haven't. Like and follow on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I do have to get better about using Twitter and Instagram, but I intend to. But certainly lots of stuff will be coming on the Facebook page, so kind of like and follow that. If you are so inclined, appreciate you guys as always. Be good to each other, and we'll talk soon.